Do you recognize this girl? She comes to this church every Sunday since her release from her 6-year stay in maximum security prison for committing 2 armed robberies to support her drug habit. I'm glad I don't look like that anymore. My name is Jeri, and I gave my life to God in prison, somewhere around the 3rd year mark of my 6-year sentence. God saved me from myself. Since age 12, I was out to destroy and eventually kill myself. So here's my testimony, and I'm sorry if I get too real. At age 12, I suffered a trauma from a pedophile, which made me hate myself instead of him. I was a drug addict and alcoholic at age 12, and then I started self-mutilating every day. God made me athletically inclined, though, and I think it might have saved me. I don't mean to brag, but I'm really good at basketball. Did you hear that, Pastor John? So first I started with beer and pot, and then cocaine, pills, heroin, and eventually crack. I actually got sober from age 21 to 29, and I worked for Supercuts for 9 years, all the way up to senior manager. I left there to be the Saddlebrook barber, but the whole time I still hated myself. I always needed a relationship, either a boyfriend or 2 marriages. I tried to fill a void, but it never worked. I relapsed and progressed to crack, and I lost custody of both my children to my parents. I hated myself so much that every morning, after I'd swallow 10 Percocet and 5 Dilaudid, I'd plan my day. Suicide or mutilate or go to Patterson and get drugs. The problem was, once I was in Patterson on drugs, very bad things would happen to me. But I didn't care because I felt like I deserved it all. Some bad things I experienced were 2 rapes. My eye was cut in half by the drug dealer because I stole from him, so I'm blind in my left eye. I traded 2 cars for crack, and I suffered many beatings and was held at knife point. I spent 2.5 years in different psych wards, and I went through 12 shock treatments, and many times they put me in leather restraints. I attempted suicide 3 times. Once I cut my wrist, once I drank poison, and once I took 250 pills. But nothing really happened to me. I really didn't get sick. I charged $20,000 on credit cards in exchange for crack. I had a heart surgery, 3 back surgeries, a nose surgery, and eye surgery, and I lost a lot of teeth. But the worst thing that happened to me was the ability to be the good mother that I knew I was capable of being. My only goal in life, even as a little girl, was to be a mommy. One day I needed crack really bad. After I did all I could by trading jewelry for money, I went and got a knife. I pulled it out to scare the person behind the register, and I robbed 2 places within an hour. During the second robbery, a plainclothes cop came in while I was taking the money. And that's it. That's the end of the story. I didn't get the crack. I didn't get the money. I got a prison sentence. In Passaic County Jail, I slept on the floor for 18 months with mice and cockroaches. I didn't go outside the whole time. I kept thinking, soon they'll transfer me to Bergen Pines. I was so delusional. When the judge came up with a 20-year sentence, I knew I was in big trouble. We fought it, and my psych ward experience got it down to 7 years, and I served 6. I was 260 pounds with no front teeth. I was buying drugs in prison and eating all the sugar I could. There was no movement at all from my body, and I kept planning my suicide. Besides my mom and my grandma and my daughter, nobody came to visit and nobody sent cards. One day I woke up in prison and I just didn't feel like killing myself. I looked out my window and I saw an empty basketball court, which was very rare. I was really nervous, but I went outside and I just said in my head, just take foul shots. I took 50 foul shots and I made 45. The cops and prisoners were all cheering, yo, check out that fat white girl. She good, yo. And everything changed that day. I changed my diet and I exercised 6 days a week. I read every book in sight. I found Joel Osteen, Joseph Prince, and eventually I read the whole Bible. I talked to God 24/7 in my head. I stopped taking all my psych pills, and I tuned the people out, and I decided to live with integrity, doing the right thing when no one's looking, and I gave my life to God. After I completed my sentence, I was transferred to a halfway house in Patterson, and I was introduced to a place called Oasis. It's a safe haven for women and children. They do so much for women and children, like food, clothes, education, childcare. I found freedom in prison. Anything bad in life is bearable with Jesus, and it's the only way to live. I saw my daughter go to prom. My son graduated from Garfield High School. Today I'm sober. Today my family loves me. Today I love me. Today I love myself. Today I got teeth. Today and every day I live for Jesus. And therefore I'm free.